Few missing cases of liquor is really not big news, but the disappearance of some fine Kentucky bourbon is attracting attention all over the world.
Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort is missing nearly 200 bottles of its finest 20-year-old bourbon, Pappy Van Winkle's Family Reserve. The bourbon, if you can find it, usually sells for a few $100s a bottle. Local 12 News reporter Joe Webb spent the day in Frankfort, where the search for missing Pappy is in full swing.
Something's cooking at the Buffalo Trace Distillery today, but it's some old product that's really on people's minds. A thief, or thieves, got away from here with a cache of high-end whiskey that has the local sheriff taking calls from CNN and the Wall Street Journal.
They had discovered over a 2-month period that 65 cases, or roughly 195 bottles of the Pappy Van Winkle Rare, the 20-year-old bourbon, had been stolen, and then 9 cases of the 13-year-old Pappy Van Winkle Rye had been stolen as well.
The damage is about $26,000, but the fallout for bourbon enthusiasts is hard to measure. Simply called Pappy, the bourbon in the red bag sells for $130 for a 750 milliliter bottle. But you can't just go in a store and buy it. They have only one bottle at Liquor City Unbridled Spirits in Florence. You have to enter a lottery to even get a chance to spend $130. But bourbon fans will spring for it.
I had one who told me his grandparents had it and it got opened only during births and during deaths.
It's highly coveted, it's highly sought after, it's what everybody wants. I mean, and you just can't get it.
Somebody now has a lot of it.
The theft was reported to the sheriff on Tuesday after an audit uncovered that some bourbon was missing. And it doesn't appear that someone just broke into a building and loaded up a truck and drove off.
The theft was from a secure area and cleverly hidden.
Obviously, we're going to look at all the avenues and all the angles, but I think obviously, you know, it would lead one to believe that it very well may be an internal theft.
Leads are coming in. Some bottles of Pappy are showing up online, but there's no indication yet they're from the stolen lots. The search is just beginning for 195 missing 20-year-olds and their 13-year-old cousins, in hopes of bringing Pappy back home. In Frankfort, Joe Webb, Local 12 News.
Pappy Van Winkle bourbon dates back to the late 19th century and was distilled by the old Van Winkle Distillery. It's now distilled in Frankfort by Buffalo Trace. A Buffalo Trace spokesperson had no comment on the theft because it's part of an active police investigation.